Hey everyone, it's Comblock VZ with Cold War Collectors. Today I'm talking about my Eastern European helmets. I have 5 of them, as you can see. These are all the ones I have. 3 of these are actually copies of the SSH-40, which was a Soviet World War II helmet. And I'm going to start with the Hungarian over here. This one is the Hungarian M70, and they started making it in 1970. Or somewhere around there. This is a terribly uncomfortable helmet, believe it or not. It actually looks somewhat reasonably comfortable from the sort of foam, leather, whatever interior, but it's quite uncomfortable. They don't fit anyone very well, and it's just not a very pleasant helmet to wear. It's covered in anti-infrared paint. Infrared paint so that you can identify friendly forces through infrared on a battlefield. It's got a profile that's almost identical to the SSH-40. Then next I will move on to the Z53. This one is Czechoslovakian. As the name suggests, 1953 is when they started producing these. Before then they had SSH-40 supplied by the Soviet Union for the most part. This is the maker's mark. It's very easy to identify a Czechoslovakian item this way. You'll see them on VZ58 bayonet frogs. You'll see them on the helmets. This one's too small, and it frankly hurts my head to even attempt to put it on. It has a slide buckle, which you can see the wear and tear from. It has a very interesting liner that actually has a snap button. Those aren't actually snaps, those are rivets. But there's actually a snap button that connects the leather to the liner, which I haven't seen in the other variants. And this one's a little more tan than my other ones, but it's sort of more of a green tan overall. This one is the WZ50. It's a little more gray, dark green. This one actually has more traditional belt loop style with 2 supports to hold the strap in place. The internal lining is actually pretty comfortable as well. And these, again, the Polish had a lot of SSH-40s from the Soviets before they started developing their own. Mine in particular has no stamps or markings on it, so that's interesting, but it was probably made between 1950 and when they introduced the WZ67 helmet, they started to phase it out. Next, I'll move on to the Bulgarian M51/72. And this is a somewhat unique helmet design, but it's actually based off the Italian M33, I believe it's called. It has a more backward slanting shape to it. It's not like the SSH here. For comparison, the SSH has much more, it's much more broad than the Bulgarian. The Bulgarian helmet also is much closer to your head than a Soviet helmet that sticks out much more. It has 3 vent holes. This is the front side with the 2 on the sides, and there's 1 on the back. As you can see, this one does have a stamp indicating size, I believe. This one has a green painted buckle type fastener. The suspension is welded directly to the helmet and riveted. This helmet's pretty light. It's reasonably comfortable, and I've noticed almost all of them have a crooked liner. It's just like where the leather sticks up, because as these things get old, they just sort of lose their shape a little bit. This one fits me as well. The only stampings are pretty much on the inside. And now finally, I'm going to move on to the M56 /66. It's East German. You can tell these from the first, these and the 76 version, which came a little later, 10 years later. Both have a plastic support inside of it, which is a good way to identify it because the first models did not come with a plastic internal. And this can again be distinguished from the 76, the later variant. by the rivets on the outside, which were removed on the 76, where they were ground flush, so it could just be painted over and it would look as if there were no rivets. And also the presence of foam pads. Only the latter two models had that, the original did not. Here's the outside of the helmet. All these are pretty chipped up and worn. I have a few other helmets that I might do a video on before too long, but I just thought I would get all the Warsaw Pact helmets into one video. When I get more Warsaw Pact helmets, I will do a bigger update video. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to subscribe to Cold War Collectors and subscribe to my channel, ComblockVZ.